Hello and welcome to Three Things with JR. I am back. It is episode number 147, season 5, episode 9, and I got a special treat for you on this one. I have another special guest on the show this week. More about him in just a moment. I'll tell you all about Elijah, who will be giving us his own three things here in a few minutes. First off, you should know I'm feeling way better than I was the last time I recorded this show, when I was feeling somewhat demotivated. The act of being a big part, sort of, in My Fair Lady, the musical, at Shannon Arts these last 2 weekends, definitely brought me out of my funk, for sure. Going to 3 rehearsals and then 3 performances one weekend and then a brush-up rehearsal and another 3 performances. I'm recording this on Monday, May 20th. Yesterday was the day we closed the show, and it has been somewhat all-consuming, just as musical theater often is, and it was super fun. It was a great show. I had one line, and I was Angry Man. And each night, Angry Man got angrier. I wanted to see how far I could take it. My job was to yell one line very angrily from the balcony, sort of up and behind the audience, to their surprise, for sure. And it was pretty fun to see the audience jump a little bit and look back to see who was this angry person. They thought maybe I was actually an angry person in the theater, not happy that the show was happening, which was kind of the desired effect. It was great. And then as soon as I'm done doing that, each night I would go back and go backstage, and it was my job then to be backstage crew, helping people get on and off the stage, moving set pieces. I think I moved a couch about 6,000 times in and out of the set. Along with some chairs and a little tea cart and a table and some chair, a whole bunch of stuff. And I got to the point by the end of all that where I had it all pretty much memorized and was really enjoyed, making the show kind of look right. That was a different role for me in the theater, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed being the angry man, but the entire time I was definitely wishing I was in it with a bigger role, an on-stage bigger role. And if you're familiar with the show at all, then you probably can picture which role I might want or I might be good at portraying, and that would be the role of Eliza Doolittle's father, Alfie Doolittle. Now, we had a great Alfie Doolittle. His big, booming voice was awesome. And I just think if I was in the show, that would have been the role I would have wanted. And I think I could have knocked it out of the park. Maybe even as good as Jim, who was our Alfie Doolittle. But I am committed to not doing anything more than just that in the theater until the fall, until after, To Be Fair, my band, records a whole bunch of songs in July. So that's coming up. We'll be talking about that project more and more on Small Things Considered, our other podcast, as well as on this show, as it becomes the thing that all consumes me for the next couple of months. All right, let me tell you about Elijah. He is an 11-year-old boy. He is in the show, My Fair Lady. So that's where I met him, along with his parents, Ciara and Michael. And when I got to the first rehearsal, I was surprised to find someone up front doing some sign language. And I thought, maybe there's now, that's the thing, that they just provide somebody to interpret for sign language at rehearsals. Maybe there's a deaf person I didn't know. And sure enough, the deaf person is Ciara's husband, Michael, and Ciara was the one up there interpreting sign language. So as our director was giving directions, she was interpreting so that Michael would understand what the director wanted. And I thought that was pretty cool to have a deaf person in our show. And sure enough, it was awesome. Michael was great. He had multiple roles, costume changes. He had to dance. He had to act. He used sign language for his acting. And it was kind of awesome and inspiring to see him. There was a story about him done on the news. And it was just really cool. I was inspired to see that. And his son Elijah also has several roles in the show, as does Ciara. They're all three in the show. So Elijah, according to his bio, he has a podcast. And Kiki said, "Hey, look at that kid Elijah has a podcast. You should talk to him." And I had been at rehearsals, but I hadn't had a chance yet to really meet everybody in the show. It was a big cast. So I finally caught up with Elijah and said, "Hey, I hear you have a podcast." And he starts telling me about his show. It's called Celebrity Chatter and Things That Matter, where he interviews celebrities. And I thought, that sounds neat. I wonder what kind of celebrities this 11-year-old could possibly be interviewing. And I also said, hey, I'm a bit of a celebrity. You know, I've been in commercials and all over the YouTube with Crutchfield videos and podcasts of my own and Crutchfield. I mean, I'm out. Maybe you should interview me for your show. And he said, I would love to. And I said, awesome. You want to be on my show? He says, I would love to. Tell me more about it. So I explained 3 Things with JR to Elijah and what the 3 things usually are. And he thought it was awesome. And he said, I would love to be on your show. So we agreed that we would do that in principle. I left that night and went to find his podcast, you know, wherever you get your podcast. And it wasn't anywhere. Until I realized when I looked at the card he gave me, a very professional business card with his picture, his logo for his show, and contact info, and I realized it's actually just it's a YouTube series called Celebrity Chatter and Things That Matter. It's on YouTube as well as like Instagram and places like that. So I went and found it on YouTube and watched several episodes and just blown away. A lot of short little 2-3 minute videos where he is interviewing major celebrities, like at Comic-Con, which is how he got access to all of these celebrities. And when I say celebrities, here's some examples. Lou Ferrigno, Danny Trejo, Robert Patrick, you know, the metal Terminator guy from Terminator 2, Chandler Riggs from Walking Dead, and a whole bunch more. Kid's got a ton of videos. And he introduces them, he interviews them, he asks them a couple questions, he comes prepared with his questions on a card, and every person that he interviews, you can just see how impressed they are with this guy. Elijah, the little 11-year-old kid, just doing it, man, and it was awesome. So watching that, I realized instead of him doing my podcast, which is an audio thing, you're listening to it right now, I realized that I should have him on my YouTube channel for multiple reasons. One, the first and foremost and most important reason is because he is great. And on my YouTube channel, I ask people, what is it about you? And I thought, well, there's a lot of things about this kid, and let's see what he wants to tell us about. So when I saw him the next day, I told him, hey, instead of my podcast, let's do my YouTube channel. And I told him I have a YouTube channel and how to find it and all of that. And so he agreed that made sense, was a good idea. And he also had been thinking about 3 Things with JR and had 3 things on the brain. And he was really wanting to do this show too. So we agreed. We met the next day. And I had my camera out and I filmed with him a video that is mostly video. It's on my YouTube channel as of tomorrow. This show comes out Tuesday, May 21st. The YouTube video featuring Elijah comes out Wednesday, May 22nd. And after we did the What Is It About You stuff, we then recorded 3 Things with JR using the same camera, phone, mic, and everything. And that's what you're about to hear, is that part of my interview with Elijah. So if you want to see what Elijah looks like, you should check out the YouTube video starting tomorrow. It premieres at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd. However, if you just want to hear Elijah, or if at least you want to start by just hearing Elijah, you can do that here in about a minute. I do want to ask you to please forgive the noise. We recorded this outside of our theater, and we were a little too close to an AC unit, and the wind picked up, and the mic picked all of that up. So there's going to be a little bit of noise. We're clearly outside. It's clearly not us sitting in a studio. But maybe we'll fix that the next time, because we've already agreed that we want to have Elijah back on the show to talk about some things. You'll hear about that in the interview. And you should, of course, check out his YouTube channel. It's called Celebrity Chatter and Things That Matter with Elijah.
That's me.
Yeah, that's him. I'm telling you, Elijah is going to be a star. He's going to be an actor in movies. I can feel it. And you should definitely continue listening to this show and check out the YouTube video so that you can say you heard it here first. And instead of using my own theme music, we'll use his theme music to transition from this to my interview with Elijah. I'm just going to give you a copy of this video if you want, and you can use this for your channel.
Yep.
And I'll use it for my channel. I'll use it for the podcast.
Right.
Heck,
yeah.
Let's do the podcast now, too.
Oh, okay.
You want to?
Sure.
Let's just make it one big thing.
One big thing.
So
I like it.
The podcast is called Three Things with JR.
Yep.
And my guest on the show today is Elijah, who I met here at Shannon Arts performing My Fair Lady. He plays street urchin and footman. And is this your first stage acting gig?
Yes.
And he's already been in a movie that's coming out soon. What's the movie called?
Blood and Breakfast.
Blood and Breakfast.
Yeah.
And this kid's got an editor. He's got. Do you have an agent yet?
No, I do not.
Not
yet.
yet. He's going to have an agent. His YouTube channel is fantastic. You should check it out.
Thank you.
It's called Celebrity Chatter and Things That Matter with Elijah.
That's me.
That's Elijah. So my podcast is called Three Things with JR.
Yep.
And I typically, if I have a guest on, I sort of put them on the spot.
Okay.
And make them give me three things.
Oh, okay.
So thing number one.
Number one.
Some sort of deep thought, a meaningful thing, an epiphany you might have had, anything that you want to share with the world, something you think everybody should know.
Could be like a Bible verse. Is that
Could be
okay?
anything you want, absolutely.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. It's Proverbs. It's a great verse. You could use it for literally anything in your whole life. Whenever you're feeling down, trust in Him. Whenever you're feeling up, you could still trust in Him. It's just a great verse. I love it.
And you think about it often?
I think about it all the time. Yeah.
When can you give me an example of a time that has helped you?
That's a good question. There's been a lot of stuff going on with my family, and I just told them, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. And hopefully that helps some of them. Yeah.
Good. All right, thing number two.
Number two.
And I think this one's going to be easy for you because you are so into movies and stuff. But I usually like to recommend something that I've recently found that is making me really happy. You know, some sort of new TV show or a movie that moved me, or a new band or music that I'm really enjoying listening to, a book. It could be a podcast, a comic book, a video game. It could be anything.
Okay.
What's the number one thing that comes to your mind when I ask you that?
I like this. My show. No, I'm just kidding.
You're going to be good at this.
That's a very good question. Tomorrow, I'm going to be watching Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So, maybe next week I could come back and I'll tell you how it was. But I would recommend that because it's like Ghostbusters is my favorite thing in the whole world. I love Ghostbusters, but any Ghostbusters movie, I love that. Spider-Man 2 is awesome from PS5. I love that video game.
So you love Ghost? Have you seen like all of the old Ghostbusters stuff?
Yes.
Ghostbusters 1.
2.
Which 2?
Girls Ghostbusters.
Wait, wasn't there a Ghostbusters 3? Was there?
If you count Afterlife, then yeah, I guess.
Yeah, okay. So 2 wasn't as good as 1,
no.
right? 1 is still kind of the gold standard.
Yes, it is.
What did you think of the one with the females?
I liked it. It wasn't the same though, for sure. I kind of separate them two, but I like it. It wasn't too bad.
If you look at
Yeah.
if you call it the GU, right, the Ghostbusters universe, it was kind of like a parallel Ghostbusters universe.
Yes, I would definitely say that.
Although
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a movie someday where they combine forces with the
That'd be
females and
awesome.
the males. That would kind
And
of be
kids.
pretty
That'd be
epic.
cool.
And the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ghostbusters Afterlife was the one that brought in Paul Rudd and the kids, right?
Yep.
Did you like that one?
I loved that one. I thought it was great bringing Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all of them back. I thought it was an awesome way combining, because most of the time sequels, they don't bring them back. And that's what makes sequels most of the time bad, because they don't bring back old characters. And this one they did, and they combined it so well that it was like amazing. You could watch the first one and then this one, and you would make so many connections with it, and I thought that was great.
You know, it's easy for an older person like me to think that Ghostbusters is old stuff, it's dated, kids today wouldn't love it, but I am totally wrong about that. I like the old stuff as well as the
Yeah.
continuation of those older stories.
Yeah, I do. Like Before Rush Hour. I love these action movies. I love any type of movie, to be honest.
It's hard to find if you're watching a movie, that's a good day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's a great thing too, Elijah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thing number 3.
Thing number 3.
This one can be hard for people.
Yeah.
Right? I tell people it's something stupid, something silly, a funny joke, just something, something dumb, something stupid, something that we don't have to care all that much about.
Okay.
What do you got?
Oh no, this is hard. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I was like, if he asked me this, what am I gonna say? And I don't know, something really stupid. There was one time where it was in school, and I needed to fill up my water bottle. So she lets me go fill up my water bottle, and I accidentally walk into the bathroom for some reason. I wasn't paying attention, and I walked into the bathroom by accident. And there's like a first grader or a kindergarten with his pants all the way down at the urinal.
Yeah.
And then I remember I needed to fill up my water bottle, so I turned back around. I'm like, whoops! I need to fill up my water bottle actually, and I did, and it happened again a few weeks later, and I just walked out, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing
So
this.
your parents, it sounds like your parents are like my parents, and when they taught me how to go number 1, they showed me you don't have to pull your pants all the way
Yeah.
down. I don't think his parents showed him that, did they?
They did not.
And he doesn't even know that that's like not the right way to do that.
It's not the right way. Yes.
Maybe have you ever considered telling him?
No.
No.
I wouldn't walk up to him and be like, pull up your pants.
Are you friends with this person, or do you know him very well? at
No,
all?
it was like a kindergarten, and I was in like 4th grade. Yeah,
so
preschooler.
He
Yeah,
might listen to you.
he might.
If you pulled him aside someday, I don't know if you could ever find a situation
Probably
where
not.
you could say, hey, let me tell you something. You could be his mentor or something.
Yeah.
You don't think that's going to happen, though? No.
No.
When do you think, I mean, if he goes up and he doesn't figure that out, I mean, that could be something he gets made fun of a lot by the other kids.
Oh yeah. That's his parents' job, I think.
Yeah. He'll have to figure it out the hard
He'll
way.
have to figure it out. Do you have like a dad joke or something? Because I always think they're funny.
Horse walks into a bar. The bartender says, hey, why the long face?
I love dad jokes. I don't know why.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your favorite dad joke?
Oh no.
You gotta have one. I came up with one on the spot.
Yeah.
I was nervous. As soon as you got it, I'm like, uh-oh, I got 150 dad jokes, and none of them hit my head, but I finally got one.
Well, I will say, I guess this is kind of part of thing number 2. There's a Joe, and it's like a son and his dad, and they always make funny videos. And one of them, sometimes that they do, is dad jokes until they laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And I can't think of one. I always try to remember them, but I never can. There was a bunch in Ghostbusters Afterlife. There was a bunch of dad jokes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one that a lot of people don't know.
I heard somebody say the other day that the reason dads tell these corny dad jokes is because once a dad becomes a dad and they have a wife and a family, right? They can't say all the dirty jokes that they used to say with their friends anymore, because those aren't okay to say around their wife and the kids and stuff, right? So what do they have left? It's all these corny dad jokes. So that's what we got. Like, your dad might have been way funnier.
That makes sense. Yeah. Right? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah?
I like it. That's probably true, though. Very true,
For
probably.
sure.
Yeah.
How many, let's go back to your YouTube channel real quick. How many subscribers do you have for Celebrity Things and Celebrity Chatter and Things That Matter?
I think we're pushing 1,000 pretty soon.
1,000?
Yeah.
How many do you have to get to monetize? Do you know?
No, I do not know.
You're not worried about the business side of this YouTube thing?
Really, you're supposed to hit 500. We're past that.
Okay.
And then we need either 3,000 watch hours.
Yeah.
Or 1 million views on shorts. Both of those are really hard to get.
Yeah.
And there's a time limit on it too. So like for the 1 million views, you have like I think 6 months or 3 months.
Right.
And for the 3,000 watch hours, you have a year, 365 days. I'm trying to push that so I could release merch and help build my show to get like this stuff right here. This is awesome. I like this, the microphone and stuff.
Yeah, I got this monopod thing on Amazon for like $60.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I could hit that, that's a great like upgrade basically.
Sure.
But yeah, and people on my show, check out JR stuff. It's awesome. I love it. And you have another podcast. Was it? I forgot what it was though.
Did I tell you about my other podcast?
Yes.
So I have What Is It About You? That's the YouTube channel. 3 Things with JR. That's one of my audio podcasts.
Yeah.
My other podcast is called Small Things Considered.
Yeah,
That's
that's
where
it.
my friend Gary and I, this year, we're talking all about the presidential election and politics and trying to help people understand who to vote for or who not to vote for. Right? We feel pretty strongly that we don't want Trump as our next president. How old are you, Elijah?
11.
11. So it's going to be a little while before you can vote in an election.
Yeah.
Do you spend any time thinking about this? You can't avoid, right? You hear about it. Do you think about the election and who would you vote for if you could, or any of that stuff?
Not really.
Good answer, by the way.
Because I don't have to worry about it.
You absolutely don't. You can't do anything personally about it yourself, right?
Yeah.
As far, you can't vote.
Yeah. So, people on my channel, if you like political stuff, go to Small Things That Matter.
Small Things Considered.
Oh, Small Things Considered. My bad. Yeah.
Awesome, Elijah. Thank you so much
No
for
problem.
being so open about who you are and what you want to do. And I am inspired by you. You listened to my last podcast where I was a little demotivated. That's no longer an issue. This show, being in My Fair Lady, is helping. Meeting you and seeing the energy that you have and the passion that you have and the success you've already had makes me want to work harder. So
I heard that podcast and you said like, I feel like this week something's gonna happen to make me feel more motivated, and I was like, wow, that's like a sign from God right there,
Right.
saying like, you need to help this guy.
That's awesome.
And I was like, yeah, I get to help somebody with their own stuff that kind of like me, that what they want to do, what I want to do, and I want to help you, and I hope I can, getting you more subscribers and stuff. So people on my channel, please consider subscribing to him and listening to his 2 podcasts if you like political stuff or 3 things.
cool. And if you want to be on my show again sometime after you've seen the new Ghostbusters, totally down for doing that. We can just do that from our homes, right? We can just do it on.
We can do that.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome, dude. Thanks again. So there you go. That's the star of YouTube's Celebrity Chatter and Things That Matter with Elijah. I hope you fell in love with this kid the way I did. I hope you felt as inspired by him as I do. And I hope you love his just overall attitude and approach to life. And it's just awesome. I can't say enough great things about Elijah. I thoroughly enjoyed hanging with him backstage, seeing him every day at the show, and of course, interviewing him for the YouTube and this show. And without further ado, we're going to end the show. That's it. That's the whole thing. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in next week for the next episode of Small Things Considered. I have a feeling we'll be talking about presidential debates because they are coming at us in the very near future, and we'll be excited to break down what we think is going to happen. So, and whatever else is going on in the dumbest presidential election ever. So check that out on Small Things Considered next week, and this show will be back in 2 weeks. I'm JR. Thanks for listening. It's a brand new day. You know, I should do what Elijah does. Thanks for listening to 3 Things with JR. That's me. Yeah, I'm totally stealing that.